Most of us measure our decency with a checklist. We don't steal, we don't cheat, we show up to work, and we pay our taxes. We evaluate our lives as a neat ledger of moral transactions. But the theological baseline is far less forgiving. Stripped of our self-justifying scorecards, humanity defaults to a state of cosmic debt. The claim is that no amount of daily good behavior actually balances the scales. If human worth isn't calculated by the sum of our polite interactions, we lose our primary defense mechanism. We are left completely exposed to the terrifying possibility that by default, we fail the ultimate audit. That spiritual anxiety mirrors a very physical crisis happening right now. For decades, secular society has told us that our identity is defined by our occupation. Now, those occupations are vanishing. During the Industrial Revolution, workers had generations to adapt to new machinery. The transition was slow enough to absorb the shock. Today, entire labor forces are being displaced almost overnight. Rideshare platforms are preparing for automated fleets, and major tech companies are deploying systems that write software faster than any human engineer. An algorithm doesn't take sick days. It executes tasks with perfect efficiency, breaking the modern assumption that human beings are valuable because of the tasks we perform. If the market strips away our labor and society insists we are nothing more than the sum of that labor, we are forced into a terrifying corner. We are rapidly approaching a world where human utility rounds down to zero. Faced with this vacuum, many turn to pure rationalism, pointing to a glaring vulnerability in religious faith: geography. If spiritual truth dictates our worth, why does belief seem dictated by where we happen to be born? Look at the statistical probability visualized on this globe. The mathematics of the birth lottery are brutal. If you were born in Morocco, you have a 99% probability of growing up Muslim. Born in the American South, you are overwhelmingly likely to be Christian. Belief looks like zip code determinism. In the early 2000s, this statistical reality provided the ammunition for the new atheism movement. They weaponized geographic probability to systematically dismantle traditional religious narratives. Figures like Richard Dawkins built a massive cultural following by arguing that human beings are merely the accidental byproducts of time, matter, and chance. They successfully deconstructed faith for millions of people. But while they tore down the old structures of belief, they offered nothing to replace the deep, enduring human need for transcendent purpose. The secular argument relies heavily on the problem of evil. It asks how a loving creator could allow a 2-year-old child to have their eye slowly consumed by a natural parasite. Evolutionary biology offers a cold, mechanical answer. Empathy is a biological imperative, hardwired into our tribal ancestors to ensure group cohesion and species survival. The logical conclusion of selfish DNA is that the universe contains no actual right or wrong. To a replicating gene, a parasite consuming a child is just an organism successfully finding a host. The crimes of a Jeffrey Epstein represent a category of malevolence that biology cannot calculate. Our visceral outrage assumes a standard of justice existing far outside our own genetic code. If we are nothing more than biological algorithms, our outrage at injustice is a chemical glitch. To call something truly evil, we are forced to admit the existence of an objective standard, a transcendent moral lawgiver. Without a moral lawgiver, modern culture attempted to fill the void with expressive individualism. We were told to be our own gods, to curate our own realities, and to live completely unanchored from tradition. The resulting reality is peak material wealth paired with deep physical isolation. Solo influencers in luxury high-rises are experiencing record levels of anxiety and depression. Trading collective responsibility for self-worship created a lifestyle that clashes with our deepest psychological requirements for belonging. We exchanged the sanctuary of the tribe for a gilded, crushing isolation. We are standing at the edge of a rapidly widening chasm. On one side is a society engineered for isolated self-worship, governed by the cold silence of Darwinian survival and an automated workforce. On the other side is the rigorous historical demand for theological surrender. You have to decide if the human demand for meaning, community, and justice is a failed string of evolutionary code or the deliberate signature of a creator. In a world where human utility is obsolete, determining the true source of your value is no longer a philosophical debate. It is the only way to survive the future.